If you can share a little bit more of your background on that, like what are you currently doing to achieve that, right? Why did you even get into ATN? Just want
Well,
to
the reason really how I got into ATN was really Aaron. Aaron has, the video, and I've been burned a lot of time, quite a few times, and I didn't know really too much about trade, and then you trust some people, and they misled you. So it was like a 50-50 chance, but then I saw the follow-up videos, and I don't, and it sounds so legit, and the people sound real, authentic, and for which I was so I said, you know what, let me give it a try. And then I call one of the, I think the number that was on the screen.
understand.
And I met one of the guy, I forgot his name, but he was so pleasant, so nice. And I said, you know what, let me just give it. What do I have to lose? I said, what do I have to lose? Because I've already been burned so many times. So it's worth a try. And luckily things worked out. And I had a couple of money sitting around. And for me to just put it in the bank wouldn't make no sense because it wouldn't be collecting anything. And so I said, you know what, let me give it a try. And let me tell you, you guys have been a blessing. I wish more people knew about you guys. And then some people, I try to tell them, but they scare, they're afraid to take that step. But they
Yeah.
don't realize that this is their steps to help not only themselves, to better their family, to better their children. Because, no matter what, expense comes, right? And no matter at which stage we are in our life, and you got to have a backup plan because these jobs that we hold in today, I mean, they're here today, they could be gone tomorrow. Look what's happening with the economy. Look
Mhm.
what's happening. Look what's happening across the country. No jobs is safe. And then you got AI. That's another issue that's coming where that's going to wipe out a lot of sector of jobs. So what are you doing to prepare for, as a backup plan? A lot of people don't have backup plan. So when these things happen, it hits really hard. Thank God, I met you guys. You've been a blessing. So if God forbid the boss man say, you know what, Gene, we don't need you no more. I could hang my head up high and I could say, thank you. It was nice working with you, and I don't have to fear. I don't have to be afraid, which is a blessing. So, like I said, you guys have been a blessing to me, my family, and I mean, like I said, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit, and you guys have been a tremendous blessing in
Yeah.
my book. In my book, like that guy said, ATN is number one. You're number one plus plus plus.
Well, I appreciate that background there and that feedback. But that makes me a little curious though, because you mentioned that you did get burned in the past, we've been through some of that stuff. What made you take another chance then, if that was your experience previously?
Well, they say your good man falls down once or twice, but he picks himself back up. They say cast your bread upon water, many waters. You never know which is going to come. So sometimes just because you made mistakes, you made bad decisions, doesn't mean that has to be the end of your story, right? So you
Mhm.
have to learn from your mistake and learn from what works and what don't work. And not only that, you could be a sort of a guidance to help those who probably might be a blessing to somebody else who's probably looking from somewhere they could invest their money, and you could share with them and say, hey, this and this way, this way I've experienced it for myself. It works. So it's a testimony. It's a testimony. So I'm just happy that for Aaron. I don't know how you guys came together, but whatever you guys did, keep doing what you're doing, man. And you guys are changing lives, are blessing countless of people, and which is great, which is a great blessing. I wish a whole lot more people knew about you, but for those who do, you guys have impacted a lot of lives. So
Yeah.
thanks God to you guys.
Yeah, appreciate that. So then, you're a big fan of Aaron, and a lot of people are. He's a family man. He's, has been around for some time as far as like this industry. So he's very
Mhm.
knowledgeable on other things other than our primary focus, which is why a lot of clients like, getting like diversified ideas from him. So, that being said, if, you went through skepticism before, some, burned out in the past before, not only did you do that, but you tried another time with us. So it makes me kind of like ask this question as far as like, why go with us, especially since we're more like a premium product compared to our competitors?
That is true. That is true. Because I'm going to be honest with you, my wife was kind of hesitant. My
Mm,
wife was very hesitant because she saw what I've gone through, what I experienced, and But I told her, sometimes you have to take the leap of faith, and so I stepped out on faith, believing, trusting, and I think what really kind of drew me in, I saw, we see the video with Aaron with his family and his father who was sick with Parkinson, and so he shared, he put out a story that every one of us can relate to. I have a wife, I have family, I have children, so and so I know I'm not going to be here all my life, so it's just for me to leave a legacy for them so that they'll have something in the future. And so I think his story, and not only that, video, putting people in the videos, and sharing their story, you can relate to it. You can relate to it. And so that was one thing that, even though my wife was kind of scared, women want to hold on, they don't want, like they're really, really sure. But me, on the other hand, I was willing to take a chance, and then God worked it out perfect. He worked it out, at the right time, because at that time, also, I just sold a house that I had. I mean, everything was perfect. So instead of me leaving it in the bank, it was given CD, but they don't get, you don't get that much. So
yeah.
and so it just, everything was perfect timing. So most of the money I had it, and then my mom passed away. That was another thing. My mom passed away, and
Sorry
so
to hear
it's
that.
7 kids. My mom had 7 kids. So my mom told me to, let's say, sell that house as well and split it among the 7. So that's what we did. We took the kid, and so I had some money from there, and so I put some more money in ATN. So it's good because now, Julio, if I want to buy me a car, I'm still in a Toyota Sienna, but if I want to buy me a pickup truck, thanks to you guys, I could go ahead and do it.
Oh, is that what you want to do?
That's what I want. I want to pick up. I want to pick up truck. Oh man, I want to pick up truck. So that's what I really want. So I'm hoping sometime next year, for me to get me a pickup truck. So that's the goal.
All
And then
right, well,
first the vacation, and then the pickup truck.
we'll look at this a year from now, see that how fast that came through.
Yes, yeah. So I tell Aaron that he's doing a great job, and it's just been wonderful. The only question I do have, some of them, maybe you could explain it to me a little bit better. Some of the trade, I saw some of them say they. I don't think it's open to us. They give more, as I don't know, I guess, percentage, like those top one. Are you guys are testing them out, or they're just not available?
The top
The
top
one,
what? Sorry, say that one more time.
the one that trades, like, I don't know, it has a high percentage yield, rating. I think, I don't know what it is, but when I talk with Jean, he said that one was not available, or maybe it was not. Let's see. He said something about it. Maybe it was not. It was not for us, or they was just testing them out. Maybe it was
Yeah,
just
well, you have to understand we're constantly testing things. So, that's something that you don't see from the background. But
okay.
myself, Aaron as well, John, I'm sure you met with John, I spoke with John.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
we're constantly spending like our own funds into other things that hasn't really worked for us, right?
I
So it's like
understand.
we're constantly like burning, but it's not really burning. It's really more investing in that experience to guarantee that we're able to facilitate that for our clients, right?
Which I could understand.
'Cause imagine it, right? You say you've been burned before, right? We've been burned before as well, on our
Right.
personal level. But we don't want
Wow.
like things that we implement into this kind of platform to be something that we be burned by as well, and then our clients as well. So we want to make sure that it passes all those testing, right? All those due diligence that we do before we add it to the platform. So everything that we launch, it might take in some time before we became available to you because of that. Does that make
I
sense?
understand. I
Right.
understand. Yeah.
But I do have a surprise for you at the end of this
Woo!
call. One of
I
them
need a
already got
surprise.
approved. Yeah. So I'll say that for later, right? So I got you. But I'm really curious on if you were before joining us, were you speaking to other companies, or you were debating between us and somebody else, or was it more like you were just facing that fear of not being burned again? So what was the route for
That
you?
that was the fear. But when I saw the results, the fear was kind of gone. And when I saw when the tariff, oh gosh, this man was doing all that tariff stuff, and then I saw how you guys say, you say, we're gonna try to protect each client money and stuff. Because I realized, I said, well, it only works if you make money, ATN makes money. So they're gonna try to protect the money as best they can, because if I lose money, ATN lose money. So it's a win-win situation. I like the way it's structured. If you win, if I win, everybody win. So that's the goal. That everybody get a piece of the pie, which is good, which is great.
Right. And then, that's one thing, getting over that obstacle, right? And then once you're over that, now you're into the actual program. So how was the setup process with the client success rep for you? Getting everything ready and started for you.
Well, you guys been tremendous, especially with Julio. He from the get go, he was terrific, and then of course you. And then Juan, I mean, you guys are wonderful. You guys are very thorough in what you guys do, and it's to me it's been a blessing. Very, very, very good. If I have any question, you answer it. Sometimes may take a day, but that's okay. But you very hands on, making sure that the question I have is answered. So I mean, you guys, like I said, you guys are wonderful.
Right, thank you. And did everything feel secure when you were setting it up? Because as you can imagine, some people come in and then they get a little like a little skeptical about using like a non-US brokerage, right? Like a out of state.
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, like I said, I'm more the common one. My wife is a little bit hyper, so she was skeptical, but we kind of figured it out, because it was because we're dealing with bricks and euro, and so. But after a while, we got the hang of it, and so the fear was pretty much gone.
All right,
I,
good, good.
yeah.
Right.
And
And I think you've been here for like almost a year now, right? So it's like,
can
oh.
you believe that? Almost a year. I couldn't believe it. Wow, wow.
So, from that first time you've seen something like, wait, this is not in the US, until like a year later, what's the transparency there?
That was the thing that was kind of scary. I'm like, oh gosh, now I'm going out of the country. I don't know. So that kind of, but like I said, but I think it's whenever you're stepping into the unknown, there's always that fear factor.
Right,
But
right.
once you do it once, twice, because I've done it more than probably going on 5, 6 times now. Anytime I make a little extra money from my job, I don't leave it in the bank. I say no, I'm not leaving it in the bank. I need to put it with ATM so it could make more money. So that's what I'm doing now. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So, and then after the setup process, how long did it take for you to actually start making some passive income?
That's a good question. Once I got it set up, I mean, you wouldn't be surprised. I was watching it like a hawk, man. I mean, like,
I remember.
and then as I began to see it started to grow, I'm like, okay, all right, okay. And as a matter of fact, when I said, Julio was shocked because he didn't think that I didn't tell him, but he didn't know I had. He said, "You're not supposed to put that much money." I said, I didn't know." But I was just because what you're getting with ATN, you would have to years, not even CD gives that years. So like I said, you guys are a blessing. But once the setup started going, I mean, it didn't take months. That's one thing I like about it. It didn't take weeks. It went to work right away, right away.
Nice, nice.
And that was very, very, very nice. Very, very nice.
And,
Very
and
nice.
then once it started going, I guess what the results looking like? You're not even on your computer. I'm not sure if you can even share your results.
I could remember him from the top of my head. Right now, I'm at about, what is it, 180? I think I made over 200.
$200,000
I made over 200 grand. Yes,
in 1 year.
in 1 year.
How much work did you have to do for
That's a very good question.
that?
I I didn't have to do no work. You guys did all the work.
All right, now that's very high numbers, right? So just for clarity, right? Because you're
That's
not you're not the
right.
average client.
For someone who's, let's, we got to be realistic.
Yeah.
Someone, let's say who is let's say who has maybe 50 or 20, 30. You got to start small. Let's be. I'm not a spring chicken. I've been around, right?
Well, how
I'm
much
a.
did you start with?
I started with I think I started with 2 grand, 200,000.
Okay. And did you add more after that, or was it just
I added more after that because a lot of things happened, and because remember I sold my mom house was sold. I got some money from that, and then me and my wife, we had got flooded, and so the insurance gave us a whole lump sum of money.
oh,
And
okay.
so I mean, it's like everything was happening all at once. So we took. I was just putting all that money in ATN because I realized, what benefit is it to me for me to leave it at the bank,
Right.
because it's even the matter of fact, when I was trying to transfer my money from the bank, transfer to ATN, I mean, the teller talked with me, said, "What are you doing? Where are you going to take your money?" They even questioned me. They gave me a hard time. They gave me a hard time. They did not want me to take my money. They said, I don't think we should be taking your money because there's a lot of fraudulent. They put that, trying to put that fear in my head, right? So, so you got a lot of things that opposition. So, I'm just telling you what I had to face.
Yeah,
So,
but you have to understand though, that's their job, right? It's like they want to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of, that your money is protected. So
yeah, yes, 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 yes.
it's a
And
good
it's
thing they're
true.
actually doing that.
It's true. It's true because they don't know, they don't know, so they just are trying to help me out. But
Hmm.
if I was someone who was very fearful, very skeptical, and then you have my wife also, very, God bless her, I love her dearly, you know. So all these elements, I could say, what, maybe I should not, maybe, let me not, or maybe not to put all of it, maybe just put a little bit in and just let me see how it works, but I say, let me. It's worth a try. And matter of fact, that's why I couldn't put it all the way out at once. I had to, I don't want to make the bank. I have to do it slowly but slowly.
Right.
But for someone, the average person who has a family, who's trying to start out in life, this is the best way to go.
Right.
But with no if or but, this is the best way to go. This is going to help you to um, set yourself for the future. For you never know what may happen in life. If something happens to me today, Julio, I'm comfortable. I'm content that I could leave something for my wife, for my kids. And that's one of the things that I was worried about. Especially this job I do. I go on high ladders. I go on rooftop, and sometimes those ladders, they shake, and
Yeah.
one time I was going on one, and one of them collapsed. Well, I was
Oh.
going all over. I was sliding. Luckily, thank God, we caught itself. I said, "Okay, that's it." I got down, put the ladder back, and I told you, I went home. Because it's a dangerous job with electrical, because when you're dealing with AC, you're dealing with electrical, so you
Mm.
got to make sure you don't get electrocuted. So stuff like that. So next year, by God's grace, I'm planning to be 50 years old. 50 years old. So I'm looking at myself. Maybe I might put a little 2 more, 3 more years, and that might be it for me. And then that's it. And I don't have to work. Which would be a blessing. Maybe I might go buy me a house next to you. In DR, since I love it so much down
Well, it's cheaper here. And your cash goes a long
there.
way.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it's real estate is cheaper here. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Because right now, maybe I was thinking about Georgia. Maybe it might not be Georgia. It might be somewhere in the island where it's, like you say, it's cheaper, more affordable, and
Mhm.
it's better way off. Yeah, that would be good.
Nice.
Yep.
So, I'm surprised because you started with a big capital. So like how far, like how much time did it go by before you added more?
Okay, that's a good question. Let's see, because you remember each for every time that I would get more money, like let's say for the mom house, I would just add in ATN with and then there was also the insurance from the home, not the home, the house and insurance because of the leaks. They gave us money. I put that towards that. I say within the year, it would probably seem like it was like almost every 3 months or 2 months, I would be adding in. I would be adding in.
Okay, and what made you add more? You already started with 200.
Well, because I actually took your advice. You say, well, the more you put in, the more you get. I said, well, it makes sense. And I said, well, let me put more in because the more I put in, the more it was like a
Well,
ratio.
let me be clear on that. My advice was to put what you're comfortable with and then
Oh,
add
well,
more as you're comfortable, as you get comfortable adding more, right?
okay. Okay, that's what. Oh, oh
But
God.
yeah, but then you ask me different questions, and then obviously, if you had more capital, it means a bigger dollar amount. It did not mean to say put all your money in there, but
Okay, I misunderstood. I
yeah, that's why I
misunderstood.
was wondering, like, what made you wanting to put more, when you already had a healthy amount.
That is true. That is true. And because the other day I I had, and then of course that's a very good question, because like the other day I had me, let's say, 15 grand in the bank just sitting there. So I have to ask myself the question, what do I do with this 15 grand? Should I leave it in the bank and it's not doing anything? Or should I put it with you guys into something that I know that is proven and that work? I mean, I mean, I may not be that savvy in business, but I do know 1 + 1 = 2.
Right.
Right? I mean, I might not be not the smartest kid in the classroom, but one thing God has given me since is 1 + 1 = 2. So I say, you know what? It's not. It doesn't make sense. And and I've seen some video to this. The worst thing is to put your money in the bank and it's just collecting dust. That's
Hmm.
not smart. That's not smart. Why not put it some entity that's proven themselves, that works, that's been a blessing? And so I say, I mean, it was no brainer. It was no brainer. So that's what I've done. So, I could have put. Trust me, I had other options. I could have put it elsewhere. I have this life insurance that I have. That's why you was asking the question.
Hmm.
I have money elsewhere as well. I have this life insurance policy. That's I could have put it in there. Has about over 100 grand. I could have put it there, but I said, but in fairness to you, you guys give more than they do. If that makes any sense.
No, it
You got
does. But you come from a very, it's not an unusual background, right? Like this things happens all the time where you do get burned before, like in the past, right? You came from that skepticism. So somebody that comes from that, right? And then a year later, seeing all the difference on how it was before joining to, after going into the program, what would you say to somebody that, is probably looking at things like this and it is skeptical or afraid how you were because they've been burned before? What would you say to them before trying this?
I would tell them, don't give up. Your setback is preparing you for your comeback, and that you have to trust the process. And because from my experience, you guys are reliable, dependable, and you mean what you said. There's a lot of people who say a lot of stuff, but after the dust settle, you realize what they were saying or advertising was all a Ponzi scheme. You guys are real, you guys are legit, and which is very rare to find. And I could understand where those doubts comes in, especially when you've been burnt, because we all have. I know I have.
Hmm.
But when you do it, when you see the result, because that's what speaks louder than words. When you see the result, and I can testify that I've seen the result. You guys are been have a tremendous blessing, especially to me. So someone who's in doubt, don't be afraid. You guys are a blessing, and just trust the process. It took me a while, but once I started and saw the result, listen, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. Now, a lot of people might not start from where I'm start off, But even let's say if I didn't have much, it was worth the risk. Why? Because I see the result. I
Mhm.
see the result. And I'm not just saying that just to as an advertisement for ATN. I'm just saying that because this is what I've experienced, this is what I've seen, and you guys stand by your word, and you guys are looking for your client best interest, not even 18, but for your client best interest.
Mhm. So that being the case, why do you think someone should take action now rather than waiting a little longer?
Well, I mean, the longer you wait, the more harder it gets. Um, it says there's never a time where there you could say never is never. If you have money and you have some monies saved up, do what I did. Take the risk. The worst you could do is just take your money, but it's worth every penny and dime, especially if you have a family. If matter of fact, if you don't even, to me, this is better than 401k. That's how good you guys are. You guys are better than 401k. You guys give more than what 401k would give. So
Yeah, that's what we try to be, right? Stocks, real
right,
estate,
right,
broker.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys are great. From my experience, you guys are the best.
So I appreciate it. So that being the case, if you had to sum up ATN, your experience here in one sentence or less, what would it be?
5 stars. You
Perfect,
guys get five
perfect.
stars.
Well, John, I appreciate all that feedback, and I'm glad and proud of seeing you like where you are right now from when you started, because we laugh about it now, right? Because you're right, we're looking at it every single day, just being like this, focus on the screen. I'm like, John,
Yeah.
trades happen how they happen. Let the market work, you know. So it's funny to see like how calm you are now, from where you were before. So I appreciate that, and thank you for trusting us, man. And we have a long way to go as well, right? To make sure we can help you with that purchase of the home.
All right, buddy.
But thanks again, man. Instead of
Oh,
getting the 9,500, you actually get the full 10,000, for example,
I
right?
see.
So instead of like doing like a profit share of $2,000 profit share, you only had to pay 1,000 for everything.
Okay. Now with the 1,000, do you guys automatically take it, or I have to figure it out or try to
No,
work
that
it
will
out?
be subscription. It'll be like Netflix, right? You have it on a credit card and it'll just get charged for that until you cancel it.
So in other words, every time I would have to pay every month, pay the 1,000. It's
Well,
not
yeah,
like
it's just like what you do right now, like how it gets taken off, like how
right,
you.
you guys. So you guys would. That's what I'm saying. Do you guys do it automatically without me have to worry or
Yes,
oh
no, it's
God?
automatically. The only thing that
Okay.
you have to do manually is if you want to cancel it, you just let us know.
All right. Let me. I don't have to do it now, do I? Or
No, no,
can
I'm
I?
just letting you. I just promised you I was gonna give you exclusive information.
Okay. I mean, that's a good idea because I mean, like I said, the more is the merrier. If I can make me 2,000 instead of 8,000, I can make 10,000. That would be great.
Yeah, it
That
makes
would
more
be
sense
really.
for your account because you have like the capital for it. So like when you're doing a profit split right now, you're paying a lot more in that on profit splits,
Oh, I am.
right?
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
So
Because of your capital, because you have so much capital, 5% actually means a big dollar amount,
I see what
right?
you're
Do
saying.
you remember like what your capital is right now? Like in one particular PAM account? Like say like one that you have on the 95.
How much is it?
Yeah, like how much you have as a balance?
Balance. One of them is 498. No, 499 now. 400. So it's going to be about 500,000.
So all right, so let me say 500,000
In
times 5%. Look, man, let me separate. So I did 500,000, 5% of 500,000. So you're paying that to the traders,
wow.
25,000, because there's a profit split, right? So the amount, let's say you had that on a 0% profit share, you're not paying that.
No, you're right. It's better for me. Okay, that sounds good, man.
Yeah,
So
you're
what I'm going to do is maybe we'd have to meet sometime and because I wish my wife was here. She would definitely like that, believe me. And
Yeah, we can do another call when she'll be available. Again, this is no, I'm not, you don't have to rush into this. Just giving
no,
you like
no,
an idea, and then we'll meet with her. I'll answer those questions. But yeah, like you're overpaying 24K in that particular account.
right. And the other one is like 200 and going by 280,
Wait, so you only have two accounts?
I have three.
All
I
right, yeah,
have
we definitely got to look at your account and diversify that stuff correctly.
Yes, because I really, I mean, I asked, but nope. I was kind of what should I do with that? Because I might, I might be losing elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I asked him, what should I know? So I need you to kind of guide me where I need to put my money to
Sure.
diversify.
So if you can do me this one favor, can you send me a screenshot of your subscribe strategies page so I can see like how you have everything allocated,
I could do that.
right?
I'll
And
do
then
that
that way
when
I
I,
can,
yeah, I'll
yeah,
do that when I get home tonight, and I'll send it to you.
sounds good. And then that way I can see like, how much more beneficial that'll be, and I'll diversify it for you. And then,
Okay,
whenever your partner's available, we'll be able to meet and, have that call.
that sounds great, man.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Thanks, Julio.
Yeah. Other than that, any other questions?
Oh man, man, it's smooth sailing. I'm just hoping this economy gets better, and and this thing we don't know with Mr. Trump and everything.
Yeah, I don't know, no worries. But yeah, look forward to speaking with you tonight. This whole Trump thing it's left or right. It's always something different. It's like
Right, that's
entertainment for
right.
me now. I'm in DR, so I'm a little less stressed.
Yeah, it's not the
You know?
over here who have to deal with it. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. I'm a little less stressed, but I still have things going on in the US, so
I,
a
I
little
hear you.
less stressed.
I hear you, man. All right, man.
All
All right,
right.
my friend. So I will talk. We will talk. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you again, and you have a great one.
All right, buddy. Take
See you.
care.